so let me turn this damn thing on. Dun 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 dun, and it's on.
Magic! It
Found it. I
worked.
found it again.
It did.
It's pretty amazing that I can do that.
It's like a test for Alzheimer's or something. Like the day that you do actually forget. Like, uh-oh.
Well, if there's a test for Alzheimer's that I could take, I'm sure I would fail it. I'm pretty sure.
So I was at Comic-Con all weekend, as you know.
Mhm.
That was an interesting experience.
Let's hear about it.
Full of people that you'd think that probably would like board games, but they don't really. You'd think it'd be pretty board game adjacent. Instead, it's like we were even geekier. We were even further down the geek rabbit hole than them with their
Is that how it felt? Really?
plastic swords and stuff. Yeah,
Is that
kind of.
how? Did they look at you like you're second class or third class or lower caste in the geek hierarchy?
They actually kind of looked at us like we were selling something. It was weird. I don't know if it was like social awkwardness or what, but like they'd come around, they'd like snoop around and look at the board gaming table. And then I'd be like, hey, you into board games? And da 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 da. And I'd be like, yeah, kind of. Or they'd like run away. I think they thought that we were trying to sell them something,
Mm.
like we were from a shop or something. Some people actually asked us that. Like, no, we're not selling games. We're just teaching them. We're just here to teach you games. There's no catch. Actually, Mitch was kind
Mm.
of aggressive because he was coming along and being like, we have a podcast. We have da, 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 da. And I'm like, dude, they don't want to listen to a board game podcast. They barely even want to play a game. They don't even want to
Right.
play a game, right?
Yeah, that's like two steps too deep.
Right.
Yeah. Like yeah,
I'm
like
like,
yeah.
ease
Now
up a little.
now that you mention that, that's a totally bad thing to do. Like it's great to
Yes,
be
it
out
is.
there. Like check out our podcast at a place where you find gamers.
Right.
So what? Yeah, like
So what?
yeah, and then now it makes me think about okay, so it'd be better if you crashed other people's game days versus have your own. If you're trying to expand your listenership.
Yeah.
Like if somebody else is
That's an
having
amazing idea. That is an amazing idea. We'll just crash people's game days.
yeah, there you go. Just
That's
crash people's game.
brilliant. How am I gonna think of that?
You find out where people are playing games like their houses and shit and you just show
At
up
the
like if you're
house.
like fucking the Kool-Aid man and you do you have the Kool-Aid man there? That he busted
No,
the
we don't
oh.
have Kool-Aid.
Okay, so Kool-Aid commercials used to be where you had the big fat Kool-Aid man. He was a you know what he looks like, right? The Kool-Aid man. He looks like a
Talk to me
picture.
like I'm from a different country.
Okay, so Kool-Aid,
Yeah.
the drink, has a mascot, and it's a guy that he's basically a pitcher of Kool-Aid, and he has a face on him, and he's
Oh, okay. I
big and
do know that. I just when you said guy, I thought you meant actual guy. I thought he was a man.
well, he's not a
No,
female.
he's a cartoon jug.
He's still a dude. He's got a man
Mm.
voice. He's a male figure.
I would disagree with calling him he's a male jug.
Maybe he's not a male jug. Okay,
He's
so
just a
maybe
jug.
I'm gendering the
You're
thing.
gendering
Yeah,
the jug.
right, and based on when he came out and all that stuff. Okay, so
This is
anyway,
us trying to connect today.
okay, so he
All
busts
right.
through places that they're
Yeah.
like thirsty or wherever, or just hanging out and they're not having any fun. He busts through and it's like it's a Kool Aid Man. And everybody starts having fun.
I do know this because I've seen it in something. Like I've seen it in Simpsons or something where he busts through a wall and he's a jug. And so I now know you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, so you can do that for board games. You can bust in people's houses and time to play board games with us.
Mm-hmm.
Screw what you guys are doing. Play with us
Yeah.
and advertise the board game. I mean the podcast. There you go.
I once had this like thought of like making an app where it's like Tinder kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
that you have. Actually, no, it's not really like Tinder. It's more like I guess it's like one of those car sharing apps where you can see that there's a car in this particular area that's free this particular time.
Yeah.
It would have like Google Maps, and then it would have like the board game picture above someone's house. and it's like, this is the window of opportunity to play this game, and then you could like go there and play that game with that person.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. And it would have like a, 2 out of /4 players or something or whatever, and you could look yourself in.
Yeah, yeah. I think several people have talked about something similar to that. I don't know why it doesn't work for board gamers. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world, but maybe it's because it's your house. Like, people's houses are like, I'm not telling people I'm playing board games at my house.
Right. Yeah,
Like, it would be more just about,
come over.
yeah, so you just be like, you need to meet up at, like, the bar or something, maybe.
Right. And because we've all had experience playing with strangers that have not gone probably that well as well, and if those happened at a house, it would have been way worse.
Kick them out. Kick them out. I want to make sure that I have my chat thing out because I don't think I do. Oh, now I do. Cool.
I have it. I have my chat thing. Yeah, so I played that game for Clover. No, So Clover.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Which I think was probably, like, out of all the things that happened on the weekend, that was probably the most positive, because I actually thought that was pretty cool. I like word games. I'm a massive nerd for word games. So I liked it. I thought it was really cool. I think my favorite part was I should go through how to play the game, even though you already know. So everyone gets a clover thing, and then a clover-shaped plastic disc, and it has space for 4 of these little square cards, and the square cards have a word on each side of the square, on each face of the square, and you randomly put them in your clover in like a 2x2 grid, and so that each leaf of the clover is going to have 2 words that you have to then associate and put down a clue with your little erasable marker. So I had that one that was salad and tattoo, and I had to put a clue that links those 2 things, and then you've got to do that on all 4 sides of the clover with those 8 words. Then you take them off, you take off the little cards, and you shake them up, you add in a red herring, so you add in a 5th one, and then you show everyone your clover with the 4 words on it, and they have to put your cards that you've given them into the grid so that all the faces of the squares that should touch a clover leaf are touching the right one, so it all makes sense. And it's good. I like it. I like coming up with the clues. I think it's a little bit more. I think it works better than Codenames, to be honest, because Codenames, you can do some really tenuous things. You're either going to go really tenuous with some of the connections and people just aren't going to get it, or people just go, I don't know, like you probably have had more luck with it. I don't know. I don't think you really like that game actually, but people just they're just too safe and they go 1 or maximum 2. And it's like, no, you got to link like 4 words or 5 words, like make it interesting. Let's do some crazy stuff. This one, I feel like it does some crazy stuff because you can get 2 completely random words and come up with a clue, and that in itself is challenging, and I find that fun. But it's also super fun to be on the other side and do the detective work and just try and go, oh, hang on, this word sort of works, but what's on the side of the card? What's on the other side? Oh, on the other side, if we put this in this corner, then the other side is raft and ocean. Wait, raft and ocean. Yeah, that kind of works. Like there's this puzzle, working out the puzzle to it. I think it's kind of cool. I dig it as a word puzzle. I absolutely hated the scoring, which there doesn't seem to be any scoring. I hated that part. Like, it actually, to me, it's kind of a failed game because the scoring is so bad or non-existent that it's kind of a failure. You need to come up with some kind of scoring, right?
What is the scoring?
Oh man, it's really bad. It's like it says that if you get it all right the first time, you get a bonus 2 points, and you get 1 for each one you got right, and you get 2 chances at it. So, in other words, if there's some that are wrong, the person who, did the clues, they take off the ones that are wrong. They let everyone have another go at it. And then after the second time, you count up all the ones that were correct. But if you were right the first time, if they were all right the first time, you get a bonus 2 points. but there's no track that shows you, oh, this is a good score for playing with this many players,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. And it's like, oh, just play as many rounds as you have people. To what end? What do you do? Like, do you? There's a little sheet that you put your scoring in, but like we had 3 players. The one that was already on the sheet before that had 5 players. How do you compare what to what? Like, it needs some kind of a guide that says this is a good score for this many people, or they need to make it competitive or something. So the feedback that I got from people playing it, because I actually taught this game to a few people and a few people thought it was all right, was I don't get how we're meant to score this, or what the point is. What is the point?
Right. But so you got feedback of a game that's already published?
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, I mean like feedback as in I played with people, I taught people the
Right.
game, but they were like, this is a good game, but I don't see what the point is. And I'm like, yeah, I know. There is no point to this game.
It's an activity.
It's an activity. Yeah, I don't like that. I think that's kind of a failure on their part. I really do. I think they should have done something cool like Pictomania, where you're like racing to get something, like to give you extra points, make it competitive, make it so people are trying to guess your stuff, and if you're the best at doing clues, you get some bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, that could be tricky because people might go and get it wrong on purpose or whatever. I don't know. They could have done something with that. It's a shame they didn't, because it's actually kind of a cool puzzle.
Yeah, like that's the big thing is you have to make a game where people don't fail on purpose. If you're making that style of game.
Yeah. I'm okay with doing it co-op as well, but they should have at least gone, here are some challenges. If you can get this many, hell, they could have just said, get a perfect score. And if anything else below that is not good, you know what I mean? Like, you've got to get it so you get it all right. If one of them is wrong, then that's a fail.
Have you heard this argument from any other people outside of this weekend about this game?
I haven't. Well, no, but I haven't talked to anyone about it because.
I've seen people talk about it on Twitter, but I've never looked and seen what they said because generally I skip over word games. I'm not a real big word game person. It sounds interesting, and it sounds like one that I might actually enjoy. But I mean, okay, so this kind of harks back at scores in the first place. Like, why is it so important to have such a good like for the score to be important? Like,
Well, for a start, if you're sitting down to teach someone something, they are going to ask you at some point. They're probably going to interrupt you.
mm-hmm. How do you score?
And say, how do you score? How do I win?
Mm-hmm. And what if you say you can't win?
Or how
Nobody
do
wins. You don't win.
Nobody wins in this game. This is just,
You win by playing the game.
Everybody's a winner. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't sit well with me. I didn't love that about it, but I did enjoy playing it. I played with this couple that I thought were really cool. I really enjoyed playing with this particular couple, and I was like, I like being the third wheel with this couple.
Mm-hmm.
This is cool.
You usually don't like being a third wheel with a couple.
No, I'm a really good third wheel. I think I'm a really good third wheel. I have the skill. But, I was watching Curb Your Enthusiasm last night, and it was the one where Susie has a dinner party, and she puts the wrong people in the middle.
Oh yeah.
They can't middle, and they're like really boring, and everyone is. And she's like, Larry, you got to fix this. So Larry takes over the middle. My skill is third wheeling. I'm really good at third wheeling.
You're a good middle.
I'm a good middle. Yeah.
Really?
I think so. I think I can third wheel really well. It's a hard thing to do because you've got to like orchestrate them, the couple having a good time together, being cute and flirty. You got to like give them opportunities to be like cute and flirty with each other, and then you're like, they are having an awesome time on this like date. I'm orchestrating for them. And then when they're like happy with each other and stuff, then you're like, oh, you guys are really sweet. Like, where did you meet? And I know how to third wheel. I'm a really good third wheel.
Okay, so here's a scenario. You're at a bar top. So you're at a bar, where you're sitting at the bar, so you're in the middle. And if they want to talk to each other, you have to scoot back. so that
Oh,
they
that's
can
a
talk
terrible situation.
I
That's
know
a
it's terrible, but your middle's right there, so you have
No,
to
no,
do the
no.
best
I
you
didn't
can.
say I'm a good middle. I said I'm a good third wheel. I could be on the end. I'm not going to sit in between the couple. I think that that's crossing the line. Because I'm a good third wheeler, I know that that's crossing a line.
So you'll be on the edges
Yeah.
of their conversation, like poking your head in, going toasty.
Toasty. Yeah. You need to know the rules. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it was cool. It was really fun playing with them, and then it was like, and then they left. Bye.
Even better, they're gone.
No, it wasn't, because they were replaced with some other people I taught the game to, and then they were like, "Oh, we don't want to play this. We want to play something else."
Mm.
I'm like, "Oh, I just wasted this teach."
Oh, suck.
Yeah.
You only get so many teaches, and you had to scratch that one off as a loss.
Right. I only got so much in me.
Yeah, well, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. I don't strive well in a Comic-Con situation. I really don't like it. I end up going in a corner somewhere and playing board games with board game people, not hanging out.
Yeah. Well, there were no board game people, so.
Yeah, I probably would have gone.
We got the corner thing. We got the corner thing right. Like we were stuck in a corner. I think that's
That's
partly
cool.
why we didn't do very well, actually, because we were kind of in a weird corner. They didn't really, well, because of their clientele, that they didn't really have much set up for tabletop. No one really cared about tabletop that much there. There was a lot of D&D going on. People doing like one-shot D&D things. Which was kind of interesting. I thought that was an interesting choice for a Comic-Con event, I guess. Because that's going to take a long time. Well, even though it's a one-shot, you're going to be there for a really long time, and you'd think that people would have a lot on at a con. Like, oh, no, I can't sit down to do this because I've got to be here to see something at such and such time.
Right, but then you have people who are just dressed up. That gives them an opportunity to just be dressed up in the middle of their stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. That's a whole world I don't really understand, so...
I don't understand it either, but, I would assume that that's the case. You could dress up like a dungeon master and hang out.
Dress up, hang out with your friends.
I guess that's the whole point, is to dress up and hang out. So whether you do events or not, I guess it doesn't really matter as long as you're dressed up, maybe.
I guess I just thought that they'd be wanting to, like, talk to artists and talk to people and go to the, like, talky things.
Maybe. Maybe
get
not.
Things
but
signed, get their comics signed or whatever they do. I don't know.
Well, I know, like at board game things, when they have those little side rooms where they're having discussions and whatnot about board game design, publishing, selling, and hobby and all that shit, they're usually not very full. Everybody's there to play board games usually.
Yeah.
So at a Comic-Con, I guess everybody's there to Comic-Con. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really get it. It's kind of beyond me, really. And it was very quiet in the morning because everyone just wanted to walk around and buy stuff. And so we were kind of like, after people had spent all their money, they might come and hang out.
It's something to do for free, is that what you're saying?
Something to do for free. They spent all their money. They, like, tired from walking around. So that was the time.
Was there a lot of seating at the place? Like if I was walking around...
We only had 4 tables, but we were in with, like, the actual Comic-Con event volunteers, and they had way more tables. So, like, the whole area probably had about 20 tables all up.
So what if I was walking around? Could I find a table easily just to chill out at?
No, there wasn't many chill out tables. It was actually really weird. We were in this huge circular room. I showed you the photo of the dome, which was pretty cool. And they had, like, all the stuff in the middle of the circle kind of thing. And then people who wanted to just sit were, like, around the outside. So I basically, like, if I wanted to go to the bathroom or wanted to, like, get out for a second, I would go around the outside of the circle because I'm not going to go through the crowds. I'm going to go through all the stalls and stuff. But that's where people would just, like, it was like being in an airport in the middle of the night and people are just sprawled out wherever they are. Trying to get some rest. That's what it was like. It was all happening behind the walls of the stalls. People were just, like, laying on the floor or
See, that would
sitting in a huddle.
if I was going to a Comic-Con and I was hungry and I was like buy some nachos or something, I wanted to chill out, go to the board game people, have them teach you
Yeah.
a game, eat while they're
Yeah.
teaching, and act like you fucking want to play a game, and
Yeah.
then just tell them,
Just
"Nah,
to
I'm good." Did walk
just
out.
to have a nice relaxing place to eat.
Yeah, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
trick right there. That's a good trick. I like
Yeah,
it.
that is a good trick. But actually, it got busy enough where that couldn't happen. Like, it did
Oh,
get busy enough where all the tables would full. But it was kind of random. Like, I taught, I taught a guy and his two sons this game, and like the sons didn't get it at all, and I'm just like, all right, well, have fun. They were just happy to do the wrong thing, and it's people like that. So yeah, I guess that they were probably using that opportunity just to calm down and just sit for a bit.
so
So
what
there
if
was a
they
bit of
just
that going on.
so what if they just brought like a bunch of Marvel stuff?
And sat
Like
down.
what?
There was like a group of like teenage dudes that were playing. They bought like a huge packet of like a box with all the blister packs of Yu-Gi-Oh, and they were
Mhm.
just like looking through all their cards of like what Yu-Gi-Oh they had and stuff like that. That happened, and that
Mhm.
was fine. We were like, oh well, the table's getting used. There
Yeah,
wasn't anyone wanting the table, so we were fine. Go nuts.
yeah. What I mean, like you guys, if you would have just brought superhero stuff, like stuff that's related to, like
Oh,
Dice
we
Masters.
tried. Oh yeah,
Oh,
no,
really?
no. We had Marvel Splendor. We had that on the table like the whole time. That got played a couple of times. We had um, the volunteers had Thanos Uprising or something like that.
Hmm.
They were playing that with people. So yeah, we did think of that. We did have like comic-y games set up
Did they do any
that we
better than
taught.
the regular games, or not so
They
much?
did. Yeah, they did okay. They did okay. I think Marvel Splendor was like doing really well.
Mm,
So, yeah,
weird.
yeah.
Yeah. So the only thing I have is that I don't like Azul. That's about it. I played
Tell
Azul
us.
yesterday. I don't like it. No, I just say I don't like it. That's it.
That's
There's
all
not,
you're gonna say? You
don't.
can't. You
Yeah,
can't
I don't
say
like
that
it.
about a game. You cannot say I don't like it, and you can't say I do like it without having something. I want to know
I was told it.
specifically what you're thinking about.
I was told it was mean. It's not mean.
It's not
I
me.
was. I was told, this and that about it, and I guess it's just with all the awards that it won, I expected a little bit more.
Did it win it? Did it win that many awards?
Oh, they had stickers of awards on it.
Oh, okay.
I think it
I
won a
don't actually
Spiel
remember.
something, and like it's like a dice tower, some bullshit, and just a bunch of stuff on it, and I really was not feeling it. It just for our group, it was not a good game. Just not our style of game. We're not a family game. We don't play 4-player abstracts. We don't
Right.
or 3-player abstracts. We don't. It's just total fail. Total fail.
Yeah.
And like you said, we should have played on the backside. We're only going by the rules set for your first game. Play this side, and you said for the
Yeah.
backside, and we should play the backside because it's a little bit better.
Well, you
And
can put things wherever you want. Like the first side is weird because it tells you exactly, like it tells you specifically where to put the colors so that you can't screw it up. At least if you put it on the other side, you can actually screw it up for yourself because you can be like, oh no, I've put these tiles in and I can't do that. Like they're all going to fall on the floor because I can't take this color. I can't put this color there because I've already got that color in that line. So
yeah,
at
yeah,
least there's a chance of like screwing something up or whatever. The other side's like, yeah, hand holding to the extreme. But yeah, it's weird. It's interesting that people say it's mean because you can't really specifically be mean to someone because there's too many variables at the start of the round. There's too many options, so you don't know what people are going to do. So it's only really the last few turns where you go, oh well, if I take this, then I won't be the one that gets stuck with 4 tiles that I can't use, and that's it. It's not like you're not really being mean. You're just not wanting to screw yourself over. That's all it is. Like it's just
right. And I don't know. It's very simplistic, very, very, very simplistic. It's
yeah.
not. There's
I
not
wouldn't
enough
even
going
call
on.
it hate drafting in it. Really, like it's
Right.
just not that much thought into it. It's just yeah, I'll take this. It's better for me. It's not really. Yeah, you don't really care what anyone else is doing. I don't know about you. I don't really care what anyone else is doing. I mean, there's been times where I've got like a lot of negative points, and I guess that's why people say it's me because negative points. They don't like negative points.
Mm. Yeah,
It doesn't
I
feel
don't
good.
ever really get that. I never understood that negative points thing. Like that's why people say that's why people assume that other people don't like the capitals is because most of the game is all negative points.
Yeah, but that's really interesting because then people like this similar people, I would say, who like Feast for Odin are like, oh, it's really clever that you have all these negative points on your board and you've got to cover them up. I mean, that sort of has a similar feel to the capitals for me. It's like you start with just like you can see where all these negative points are, and you want to eventually get into the black.
Right.
You're in the red, you want to get in the black.
Right. So I don't get it. I've never got it. I was like, it doesn't matter if we're at negative points, doesn't matter if we're at positive points. It
Right.
doesn't really matter. It's a game, we're all playing it, figure it out.
Yeah, just depends on where you sit in the whole in the scheme of things. It was like Ark Nova, I think my score was -12, but it wasn't that bad because it sounds bad, but it wasn't that bad because people have got worse, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So
Ark Nova is one of those that it was interesting, the negative points part of it. It was okay. It was too
yeah,
terraforming Mars for us. For me, definitely, it felt too much like terraforming Mars. So, except for that negative point part, the point part's the only cool part for me of that game.
yeah,
And
it
we
does
took,
give you. It stresses you out a little bit. Like you're like, oh, I really need to get that. I need to get those things to meet.
it doesn't stress me out that much, really. But it would stress me out if I was trying to do stuff.
Yeah,
Like my task is to make these things meet, not house particular animals. Like I
yeah,
house chipmunks. I don't care. I need to get these things to meet. I don't like. I'm not going for beauty. I need these goddamn things to meet.
yeah,
So with the one track mind that I have, it's very. I don't feel any stress in that game at all.
yeah,
But the other players did.
yeah.
Yeah, because they want to put like I want to do a snake thing. I want to do
I wanted
reptiles.
to
I
do
want
the
to.
snake thing. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
did. I did have super sweet snakes, but I just couldn't conserve them or whatever it is. I couldn't score for them. There were like 4 things that I was saving up to get like a huge score in, like the
Mm-hmm.
5 instead of the 2, and
Mm-hmm.
I ran out of time because Kenny made the game end quickly, and I didn't have enough time to score for my sweet animals.
Yeah, for like any game, I'm always the same. I break it down to how can I play this game the least amount of playing this game and make the most amount of points.
Like
like
the
like
lazy way. What's the lazy
I
strategy?
would I wouldn't call it lazy. I would say that I'm trying to interact with this game in all of its elements without trying to fall into the trap of doing stuff. Like it is like adding Chrome to stuff. Like some games make you go in this spiral of let me add stuff, let me make this better, let me better my Tableau and all this other shit, and you get with diminishing returns, and
Mm,
you try to find the optimal when to stop. And so for a lot of games, there is a place where you need to stop, and you need to stop constructing and just go for the victory.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. And it's knowing when that time is to
right,
start
but
doing.
but a lot of players are having so much fun, or their perception of fun, and that they're all just oblivious to it. They're like they
Mm,
eventually win or the game eventually ends, and usually when I'm playing a game and that thing's in there, everybody at the table is gonna go, "I needed 3 more turns. I
mm.
needed to do this. I needed to do that." It's like, well, no, you needed to make points.
Yeah,
Too bad.
I'm like that in Bonfire. I'm that person. I'm the you
I really
person.
just get this shit
Yeah,
done.
I just get the shit done in the game, and then people trying to do all this fancy stuff, and they didn't. They didn't have time. Sorry.
There's a game, Captains of the Gulf,
Yeah.
and it's a Spielworks, and you're building your boat, your shrimp boat, and as you're building your shrimp boat, it doesn't tell you when to stop making a better boat, and also you don't get any real points for the stuff on your boat. So at some point you just stop building on your boat, and everybody else might be still making stuff, making their boat better, and there's no point. You're just like
Mm.
losing money. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that one's really bad at it because you don't get anything for it, and it's very obvious. It's very obvious when it's time to stop moving, stop fucking with your boat. Just make
Right.
some points. Like make the optimal boat done.
But people still don't because they're just tempted to just
Yeah.
make a really nice boat.
well,
This
it's
is
not
fun.
that. It's
Let's just
that
upgrade our bow.
it's like you're getting cards. Do something with the cards is what most people I think feel like. Like do something with. It's kind of like when people play Terra Mystica and
Oh yeah,
spend all
Terra
their
Mystica's
goods,
like that for me. Yeah,
spending
spend
all
all
your
your
goods.
goods, and then you could just hold on to them for a little bit.
Yeah, you can hold on to it. There's no penalty,
Yeah.
so just hold on to them. Do optimal turns. Don't spend everything because you feel like you have to. Because you
Yeah, I
don't.
mean, that makes sense. I know why people do that because they think that the more you unlock early game, the better your engine's going to be later. That's why they do that, right? But
Depends. Depends.
yeah, it does. It depends. You're right.
Yeah.
It does
You,
depend.
yeah, you have to look at the later rounds, what the scoring, the special scoring is going to be,
Yeah.
what your
And some
particular.
rounds you're just like, I don't want to start with nothing. If I start again with nothing on this round, I'm just not going to be able to do what I need to do. And you need to conserve those goods. You need to control yourself,
Yeah, totally.
control your spending.
Yeah, that should be. That's a
It's
thing
about
for life.
budget. It is. It's all about budget. That game.
Yeah, be like that for life.
Yeah, definitely. You ever tried the Terra Mystica expansions?
Yeah, I
Oh, you
did.
did. What did you
Yeah,
think?
I like the turn order thing, the turn order one,
Yeah.
module part. Some of the keys and other stuff are pretty neat. I don't have the problem that other people have with the boards and being unfair as far as like the terrains and stuff. I don't have that problem because the first problem is most people I've played with don't optimize. They optimize for the turn, not optimize for the game. So it's easy to compete against them and be better
Right.
and not
You have to be pretty hardcore to know, oh, this is this map, I'm going to use this faction. Unless you've
right.
just gone and looked it up.
Right, right. And then even if you've looked it up, the question is, can you do it as well as the
Yeah,
person
can
who
you still
figured
do
that
it?
out?
Right.
Right. And you still need to know all the other little ins and outs of the game to be able to do it well. So I haven't had the problem. Kind of like, what is the Martin Wallace one with the A Few Acres of Snow?
Hmm.
Like, it's supposed to be broken or whatever, but it doesn't matter to us because we don't know the strategy.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And what's the other one? There's another game that Lewis and
Yeah,
Clark
there's
is
one.
supposed to be broken,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
but we don't know that either. So it's all good as long as we don't have
It's
to
like
look it
you
up.
said, Cooper Island is broken, but I never came across that. So
I was like, yeah, so it's all good. Yeah,
it's all good.
yeah.
But
I don't know if
innocence
Cooper
aside,
Island's really
right.
broken, but there's an optimal strategy for sure. I think.
I don't know. We'll see.
Ah,
I
maybe we
still
should play
haven't
it
really
sometime.
gone for it. I still haven't really gone for it.
Mm.
The optimal strategy you think in that game is not the one that I think is optimal.
We'll have to play. We
We'll
have
have
to
to
try
compare
it.
scores. Yeah, we have to
Yeah,
try it.
yeah. Or tell me your score in a 3-player and a 2-player, and I can get it. It's on the these Brian
So
and
they put it
Lyndon.
in BG stats.
Yeah, they put it in BG stats, so I could tell you the score.
So this is you. You get like Lyndon buying all the games,
Mm-hmm.
Lyndon learning the games,
Mm-hmm.
Lyndon inputting the scores for you,
I know. I'm being
and
spoon
you're
fed
just
board
sitting
games.
there on your like throne, like I just can play whatever I want. They can teach me. They can
Right.
do
Okay.
everything for me.
That is true. But okay, so when it goes to let's say we're working on a game, like when we worked on the cost,
Yeah.
I was the one staying up late, worried like a mofo about little bitty stupid math problems, and like I do my part for the group. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Is like
All right. You do
when
your
it comes
part.
to something, yeah,
Yeah.
I do a
Everyone has
lot
a
of
role.
extra work. Yeah, my role is not that role. That's about all I really can say about that. Like my role is not to put it in BG stats because I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
If you want to know your score, well, fucking remember it. Which is strange because like there's also an element of because they put it in BG stats, they forget the score.
You mean they
So
forget the score?
because okay, so they don't have to use their mind to remember. They don't have to mentally write it down. They write it down in the app. So 7 months later, the question is who won that one game, and I could say, oh, okay, so and so won that game. Here's what happened. and here the scores were about this, and they won't remember because they don't have to because it's in the app.
Yeah.
Because there's an amount of like, I guess, mental uh, baggage that you can just let go when you're writing stuff down.
That's why it's good.
Right, but
you're arguing for BG stats right now.
what for me it's not because I can remember the game, and then yeah, because I can remember the game, and next time we play, I can usually remember what won it or what didn't win it, and they've forgotten the whole game altogether. So like I have.
I don't know if I agree with that. I actually
a placeholder for it.
I have BG stats and I tend to remember.
Well, that's maybe you're just
on that one, but a lot of people don't, or they say they don't because Kerry is always like, "Oh, you win everything," and blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, I don't. That's simply not true.
And you start looking at the percentages and shit, and you find out your percentage isn't as good as you thought it was.
Yeah, I've got the. It's good to have the proof, even though I know, also in my head that that's not simply not true. It's like, here, look at this. You won this time.
That's pretty cool.
I guess that Linda and I are a little bit more control freaky than you because you don't care about having that in particular.
No, because
this is what happened exactly. I have the proof.
No, I can remember, and for me, it's an advantage to remember versus proof.
It's not an advantage to remember because I could say no, that's not true. You have no proof. That's
right.
Not true.
And,
that's not the way it was. You
okay,
lost.
so like here's where it's an advantage. Me and Brian were playing a game. He said he didn't remember playing the map. I said I did. He said who won it, and I knew who won it. I said I didn't know. I knew I won. I knew that he won it. I knew that he won it.
Didn't know.
Right. I said I didn't know, and I remembered the game. He looked in his stats, and he didn't put it down. And I knew who he won it, and I knew how he won it, and I knew why he won it. And I won because I remembered it all.
Right.
That was a complete advantage on my part.
Oh, that was a fail on Brian's part because he's got stats. He should have put it in there.
He should have put it in there.
Moe did this. Moe's going to lie about it. Like Memento, Tattoo it on his body.
Moe's going to lie
about this game. Yeah.
Yeah.
He should have done that.
Yeah. I've done the most scrupulous stuff when it comes to age esteem. Definitely. Without a doubt.
Yeah. You've got no scruples.
Without
scruples.
If the map of age esteem, when it's out, and let's say they set it up, and there's something going on, I'm studying the map.
Putting track tiles in your pocket and stuff.
No, I just study the map. I'll study the map, and I'll think about the map. We'll go to lunch, and I'm thinking about the map. I'm thinking about what has to be done on that map.
Yeah, that's dodgy.
Yeah, and I act like not. I know you're allowed to do it. I don't do anything that's dodgy.
You're not
maybe
strategy guides.
Fuck no. No.
You wouldn't go that far.
I wouldn't go that far at all. But I would set up if I knew the map we're going to play, I'd set it up at home and play it alone.
That's cheating.
I wouldn't call it cheating. I'd call it being prepared. It's as cheating as knowing the rules before everybody else.
Everyone should be on the same level. I'm only teasing you. This is only because you're like, you say it. You say everyone should not read strategy guides and stuff and be about the same.
That's not a strategy guide.
And you say I can't play Imperial Struggle without you. So I'll know the cards.
Oh, you can play it without me.
Play by myself. Learn all the cards.
Right. And then if we play it and you're like really good at Imperial Struggle, I have to decide, do I want to compete with you or not? And I'll probably opt not to because I'm not going to, I don't think it's worth the squeeze. But that's Imperial Struggle. It's a good game. It's a really good game. And I don't want to go down the rabbit hole it'll take to be good at it.
Oh, hopefully we can play it together when you're here.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Well, we've done 39 minutes. Do you want to call it?
Let's call it because we've got a game to play.
Oh,
it's probably
okay.
too late. It's probably too late for you. You gotta get sleep and stuff.
I don't think it's too late, but if you think it's too late for me, whatever.
No, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about what we're gonna do.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Let's see if I can figure out how to turn this damn thing off.
Smash the button.